A man who was abused by a prolific paedophile has waived his right to anonymity today to encourage other victims to come forward.
41-year-old John Bailey from Skipton was a teenager when he was sexually abused by Philip Longbottom. Today he was in court to see his abuser given a second life sentence after Longbottom pleaded guilty to offences against 6 boys. Olivia Richwald has this.
John Bailey has suffered flashbacks all of his adult life of the abuse he suffered as a teenager at the hands of this man. Philip Longbottom was a Sea Cadet officer and a scout leader who preyed on boys from the age of 10 years old. He'd already been jailed for life for 40 offences against 12 boys. Today he was given a second life sentence at Bradford Crown Court for serious sex assaults on John and 5 other boys.
Through what I've been through, I turned very insular. I turned to self-harm. I was a different person completely. My family didn't understand what was going on, and it's only in the last 3 years that they've fully understood what's happened to me.
Longbottom lived at a farm in Keighley and would take victims to remote locations to abuse them. His offending started in 1968, and despite at least 2 young victims going to the police, his abusing behaviour continued for 40 years. Andrew Duggan was 14 when he suffered a serious sexual assault at the hands of Longbottom. His sister Wendy says it changed Andrew's life forever.
Andrew's life just spiralled in a downwards direction. Andrew really loathed himself and came very close to taking his own life as a result. He spent much of his life drifting from town to town across the north of England, unable to stay in one place for very long, and often living a homeless life.
Andrew died alone and isolated from his family, aged just 47. Longbottom was in court today to hear the horrific victim impact statements read to him. It was clear that all 6 of the boys, now middle-aged men, had suffered life-changing damage as a result of the abuse. They talked of living with crippling shame, of pushing family and friends away, of turning to drink and drugs, and being unable to maintain an adult relationship. At least one of them has been diagnosed with PTSD.
There's nothing braver than speaking up, because you can live with shame forever and it can eventually kill you. But if you speak up and you rebuild, you've got a life to live.
Longbottom was given a second life sentence for the assaults on 6 boys. He'll serve a minimum of 6 years, but expects to die in jail. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, Bradford Crown Court.
A Yorkshire MP